What's up, you guys? This is Brandon from Flesh and Blood Brothers. Today I have a cool deck I'm calling Meet the Spider. So it's an Arakni build that kind of just takes advantage of his hero ability, and it's really on theme with the assassin hero. There's a lot of builds that are like max fatigue with defense reactions and just kind of stalling out the game and hopefully to fatigue your opponent. This deck takes a little bit more proactive approach. I would describe it as mid-range because you do want to be setting up turns. You want to be using your equipment multiple times per game. So I'll get into those details. So if you're new to the assassin class, Arakni says whenever you play a card with contract, you can look at the top card of your opponent's deck and you can put it on the bottom. So for example, the premier attack, Annihilate the Armed. The contract is to banish opponent's attack action cards. So you'll play this, it has contract, so then Arakni's ability will trigger, and you look at the top card of your opponent's deck. If you see that their top card is an attack action card, you can leave it on top. And you can also put cards to the bottom if you don't want them to draw certain cards throughout the game. So you can really kind of control what your opponent's going to see throughout the game the more you play these contract cards. So that's the general idea. The weapon, let me switch views. So most of the time you'll be rolling with 2 Spider's Bites. That is the premier weapon for Assassin. Cost 2 to attack, but it does have Go Again, and it does have Piercing 1. And that says if it's defended by equipment, it has +1. So it has 1 attack with Go Again. If it hits, the next time they defend with attack action cards, those cards have -1 while defending. So the idea is to poke them for 1 damage and then be able to play a 5 or 4 damage attack, and they have to block with more than 1 attack action card unless they want the hit effect to go through. In the sideboard, I have an Arcane Lantern because you can rock 1 dagger and 1 Arcane Lantern to get AB. Black Tech Whisperers are the premier assassin legs. So how this works is, as a reaction, you can give a target assassin attack Go Again if it hits. And it has Battle Worn, so you can block for 1 and then use these to give a card Go Again, and it goes in your graveyard. And then you can destroy 2 silvers at the beginning of your turn to put this back on, and that Battle Worn -1 counter will be no longer present since it went to the graveyard and back. So the idea is you can use these 2 or 3 times throughout the game to have like 3 total armor and give attacks Go Again, so you can double up on contracts and earn a lot of silver. You're rocking the Spring Tunic just for the free resource every 3 turns. Ironhide Gauntlet is just extra armor. There's no assassin specific gloves. Mask of Perdition, this is the assassin helmet. So this gives your attack, when it hits a hero, they banish the top card of your deck. So the assassin attacks already have that text, and this adds a second one. So if this would hit, you banish 2 cards from the top of their deck, taking 2 cards out of their deck completely out of the game, and you have a chance to earn 2 silver if they're both the card that the contract is looking for. Then you got the Null Rune Boots and the Null Rune Gloves. So you have a total of Null Rune 3 with the Arcane Lantern. And yeah, most of the time you'll be rocking the boots, Spring Tunic, Ironhide Gauntlet, and the mask. As far as the deck goes, I have it split up right here. So we're going to have a lot of 0 cost and 1 cost attacks. For example, Annihilate the Armed is an assassin attack that's going to banish attack action cards. So pretty much every deck ever has attack action cards except for Kano, essentially, and Dorinthia. So you're going to be running 3 of these. It's a 1 cost for 5, blocks 3. We're rocking 3 Command and Conquers. That is a card to fight Phantasm, and it's very, very good against Rangers. And we have another Ranger coming out in Outsiders, so I'm sure Command and Conquer will play a nice role there. Also, assassins have access to these 0-cost attack reactions. So Cut to the Chase is going to give target card with contract +3 as on the reaction, and then you're going to look at their top card and you can put it on the bottom. So if Trigger Arakni's ability didn't reveal the card for the contract, you can put it on bottom and then play Cut to the Chase and have another chance to make sure your contract is going to hit. So that's some easy silver there. I have 2 copies of Erase Face here. This will definitely be replaced by a card in Outsiders, but for now it's a decent 6 attack, and it does have uses in matchups such as Dash and Viscerai, and the Tales of Ari heroes that want to fuse. 3 Fighting Spirits. Again, this is to combat Phantasm, and also you can block for 2, gain a life in certain matchups. So yeah, it's just a good card on an off turn. So Leave No Witnesses is our first big power card. This is definitely a card we want to be playing as many times as possible per game. So this is a 0-cost 4, and the contract is to banish opponent's red cards, and also when it hits a hero, you banish the top card of their deck and up to 1 card in their arsenal. So a very, very large percentage of the time there's going to be a red card in the arsenal. So if you can get a red card in the arsenal and on top of the deck, that's 2 silver right there, and it takes away some tempo from their turn. So definitely this is an attack you want to be spamming and having this hit. Oasis Respite at 2. This is a sideboard card to bring in versus Wizards, but yeah, definitely needs to be there for Kano and Icelander. Plunder the Poor at 3. This is a contract to banish cards with cost 1 or less, and it's a 0-cost 4. So pretty much every deck is going to be having a lot of 1 or 0-cost cards, so this contract will hit often. I have 1 Razor Reflex because giving something +3 and go again is very good, but it blocks 2 and costs 1, so I have this at 1 just for the surprise factor. But this is useful for going wide and stacking up 2 contracts in a turn. Rob the Rich is another assassin staple right now. This is looking for cards that cost 2 or greater. So this is very, very good against Guardians and a lot of decks that have 2 and 3 plus cost cards in their deck. Sack the Shifty, very, very good against Phi and Rune Blades. It's looking for cards that have go again in the text box, so that can be non-attack action cards and attack action cards. So definitely have 3 of those. I have 1 Red Shred. Red Shred gives target card defending an assassin attack -4 defense. So this is, the anti 4 defense reaction. So this will get your cards to hit, and I keep it at 1 just because it's red. 3 Sink Below. This is to help not get crushed against Guardians, and this is also useful against ninjas to kind of get to that 4 breakpoint or even the 5 breakpoint with the Sink Below plus one of your equipments. So I find that very useful. 3 Slay the Scholars. 0 for 4. Looking to banish non-attack action cards. That's going to hit against pretty much the majority of decks. In the sideboard, we have 2 Smashing Good Time because Dash is a legitimate threat, but also Smashing Good Time is good because it pumps for 3, so your contracts can come in at 8 and 7, which is pretty formidable. 3 Unmovables. This is to shut down Dorinthia and also really, really help against those Guardian Crush effects again. So this is a sideboard card. This is not in the main board. For the yellows, 3 Eradicate. This is another attack that we want to be spamming throughout the game. It is contracted to banish yellow cards, and when it hits, they banish the top X of their deck, where X is the damage dealt by Eradicate. So if you can combine Eradicate with like a Cut to the Chase and a Shred, you're going to be banishing, 3, 4, 5 cards off the top of your opponent's deck. You'll get silver for everyone that's yellow, but also you'll just be taking very legitimate threats out of their deck, which is a pretty powerful effect. Remembrance at 1 is in the sideboard based on that fatigue golem running around. Any of the longer matchups, I would bring in Remembrance to shuffle back in Eradicates and Leave No Witnesses, for example. We have 3 yellow Shred because it's a yellow. You can pitch that to swing your weapon. It blocks 3 and it gives target defending card -3 in the reaction phase. Very good. In the blues, we run 23 blues in the main board because we want to be able to pay for our dagger every turn and a 1 or 0 cost attack. So we would definitely want a blue in hand at all times. So we got Blue Captain's Call to help us go wide. It can give us those 0 cost assassin attacks go again, so we can do that, follow it up with another one to double up on contracts and earn some silver. 3 last ditch effort, so it's a blue block 3, and if the game is really grindy, you can pitch stack some threats with last ditch effort. So yeah, it'll probably be replaced once Outsiders hits, but yeah, I think it's a very fun blue right now. 3 Payday, again, it's a blue block 3. When you can give an assassin attack go again with your boots or a different effect, you can cash in and get 4 silver, so you can buy back your boots and helmet. So this kind of is a big silver generator for you. And then we have 3 Plunder the Poor. I want just a 0 cost attack that blocks 3, so worst case I can throw it and they have to respect it or banish cards and I get silver. 1 Regicide chilling. You never know. Royal has been running around a little bit, so why not? 3 Blue Shred, again blue block 3, but also I can just surprise -2 something to get an attack to hit and get a contract to pop off. And then we have 3 more 0 cost to attack, Slay the Scholars, and of course 3 Surgical Extraction. This is the blue card you want to be spamming, so this is another Remembrance target for sure. So it's cost 2, does 4. You're banishing blue cards for the contract, and when it hits a hero, you banish the top of their deck, and also you can look at their hand and banish a card of your choice. So very, very powerful. They really have to respect this card. So definitely want to be throwing that as many times as possible throughout the game. And I do have 1 Time Snap Potion. It's another blue, and it does give you those 2 action points to deal with allies like the dragons of Dromai, and maybe clear some auras from Dromai as well. And what it also allows you to do is have that action point to go into Payday to get your 4 silver. So yeah, it's kind of a nice little trick to have there. So here's what it looks like. I got the lean 60 here, and yeah, the 3 unmovables on the sideboard. Remembrances, Smashing Good Time is, Regicide, 2 Oasis Respite, and my Null Rune gear, and 2 Erase Face. So everything else is in the main board here. Got that 1 Sneaky Razor Reflex, got that 1 Time Snap Potion. Got a good healthy amount of blues to feed the daggers and the 1 cost attacks or a Fighting Spirit if I need to. So yeah, this is what it looks like before Outsiders. Obviously it's going to change dramatically once Outsiders hits. So I feel like this build stays true to the Assassin class, uses all the power cards in a good way, and I think it's just a lot of fun to play. So more gameplay videos coming your way, but I just wanted to get this deck out into the world. Try it out, give Arakni a few spins before Outsiders comes out so you can hit the ground running. So I hope this video helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.